disclaimer. Read all about it.
Well, hello, my lovelies. How are you today? Tonight, rather. It is May 16th, 2025, 7:40, starting a little late. My bad, guys. I have not gone live, I believe, since January. So I had a little hiccup with Streamlabs. It told me to basically start afresh because it's been so long since I've logged in that I need to do some updates. So I did, and we're good. So if you can hear me, put a one in the chat. Glad everyone is here. If you are new here, go ahead and hit that like button. You could take it back if you need to, but go ahead and do it anyway now. It's not going to cost you anything. I know a lot of people have been waiting for updates on this case, and let me tell you something. There are. There are lots of updates. Some I cannot divulge, but some I can. And as you always, or people who have followed me from the beginning on this case of Michael Vaughan, who went missing July 27th, 2021, in the evening time, allegedly, around near at his home. It has changed uh, in Fruitland, Idaho, on Southwest 9th Street or thereabouts. Perfect. Perfect. Everybody can hear me. Hello, my Gemini soul sister. Hi, Julie. Good to see you, Miss Brewbug. Hellcat. Awesome. If you are watching the replay, go ahead, hit that like button. Let me know in the comments what you think. I love new opinions and those who share different opinions than me. I always learn. That's how you learn to be better, do better. So do not be afraid to tell me how you feel, unless you're one of the haters. You can go just hate somewhere else. There's a lot of hate going on in the world right now. Shit's popping off. People are getting framed for things they didn't do, like Karen Reed, for instance. So let's just cool it on the hate Eve train. Hey, Shay, safe place. Good to see you. Shay knows what it's like to get the nth degree. For sure. I know you do for covering these cases. Hello, little Texan. All right, let's get to it. Again, we are covering the Michael Vaughan case. Then 5-year-old missing little boy from Fruitland. There are 4 suspects that have been named. In November of 2022, Fruitland Police Department put those 4 suspects on a board and put them up on a little one of those display things and said, we believe that these 4 have knowledge or direct involvement. Specifically Stacey and Sarah being direct involvement. Now, how do we know present day that they are still named suspects? Well, JD Huff did an interview with, I believe, KTVB, and that's the chief of police. And he said, I truly believe they are still suspects, or they are suspects. And I truly believe that Michael was buried in in the backyard of the Wondras. Now, how did they get there? These are for the newbies coming in. How did they know, or what tip led them to thinking that Michael Vaughan was buried in the backyard of 1102 Red Wing in Fruitland, which is just right across the way from Michael's home? It's in a subdivision, a 4-minute walk, I believe. Why did they think that he or these 4 suspects had knowledge? Well, it's a long story. I have videos on that, and I would absolutely uh, put that in the chat if I had it at the moment, but I will put it in the links and in the comments for those who want to watch that juiciness after this live or whenever you can, because it breaks down a lot of the missing pieces that you're probably not going to get right now, because we have a lot to cover, and I have not been live in a long time, so bear with me. Before we do that, I'm going to just check the chat one more time and then we'll get started. Yeah, I'm glad, Shay. I'm glad you're here. It's been a long time, or excuse me, it's been too long for updates on this case. I don't get it at all. Well, when you have creators, and I will call them out by name, I do not care. Because I've had it too, and I've had it for years, but this is just really taking the cake. When you have people like Clutch My Balls, aka Clutch Them Pearls, Justin for All, and you have um Missing PNW Crimes Revisited, probably butchered that, but that Samantha, and you have all of these other creators that most of you guys know about spew the most vile, idiotic, insane things and do the most heinous things that are almost damn near criminal against the four suspects' family members. And we'll get into that. Believe me, we will get into that today. I've had it, and they've had it. And the rubber meets the road today, going forward. I have done a lot of work in the last 3 or 4 months, silently, quietly, being patient, hearing the shit talk about me on things that had nothing to do with me. And if you don't know, or if you're new here, I have been the evilness that has been brought upon Michael Vaughan's family, apparently, or one of many, because I covered this case. I've actually been very candid and very polite compared to some of the things I have heard from other creators who have a difference of opinion as I do about um, this case. I think that I am the cherry on top of the freaking cake or the ice cream, whatever, um, compared to what I have heard in the past. Hey, Sleuthy Goosey. And I'm going to keep this rant short, but it is ridiculous. And I think that the Karen Reed case in particular, um, the judge being corrupt and all of the players in that whole thing has really lit a fire in me to talk about what I believe is going on in Michael Vaughan's case. I do believe that it is um, looking corrupt to me, and I have bit my tongue and have um, held back from saying that for years because I had faith in this department. But then Chris McDonough showed up, and then I went, ooh, yeah, so that's not good. Not that Chris McDonough is like a, you know, a monster. He has a history, a good and bad history with these cases. So, um, now that I know what I know, though, and what you're about to find out, it's rich. It's real rich what's going on in this case. And I think that the locals are the ones that are going to help um, either hinder this case from being solved on purpose or help solve it. But it's going to take some kahunas. It's going to take somebody with a set of kahunas to go up against what I'm about to explain to you in Fruitland, Idaho, in Payette County. Oh, because it's not good. It's not going to be easy. It hasn't been easy this whole time. Julia, so glad tax season is over and we'll see more of you. Yes, no kidding. So I'm an accountant and that's what I do for a living. And she is right. It is dying down. My little one is going into, I'm not going to divulge into that because one person that supports, um, anyway, trying to expose my child's daycare. So we're going to quiet on that. Yeah, that's how fucked up it's been. You know what I mean? Are you going to be covering the Lily and Jack Sullivan case? Well, once it breaks, yes. Because I don't like, everyone's doing the whole, tiptoeing around who's guilty, who's not. I mean, I'm 18 steps ahead already. You know me. I'm a FOIA son of a bitch. And I think we're going to wait until that one press conference and it's coming. All right. Let them do this search and I'll absolutely jump onto it. Karen is innocent. Absolutely. For fuck's sake. I feel there's some corrupt stuff going on. Corrupt is an understatement. That is no lie. Okay, so why do I say that? Why are we saying that? Because I have become aware of what has been going on in the searches for Michael Vaughan, who it's related to, Who does it affect? And how did they get to search these areas for Michael after the excavation in November of 2022? What has been going on in the past few months and up to, let's say a past year? Well, the harassment from the friends and family surrounding the support for Michael Vaughan's family, okay, have been absolutely horrendous in their attempt to try to get answers, which I understand. Everybody could understand that you would do anything in the world to get answers, but there is a limit, and maybe there are no answers that you're going to get, especially if you're going to threaten their children or their family members' children. If you're going to, and this includes the police too, if the police are going to sit there and lie and manipulate, not even tell the other jurisdiction that you're going to, that you're coming, which is a law, by the way. There's issues here. If a suspect, an alleged suspect, is telling you, I will only talk to you with a lawyer present, if there are multiple suspects telling you, I am only going to speak to you, although I already have spoken to you many times, I will do it with a lawyer present. Why do they not want a lawyer present? Why do the police only want to talk when there is no lawyer to help defend their client from being manipulated by the law enforcement of Fruitland and Payette County? Why are there two new detectives on the case trying the nice man approach? and I'm sure there, you know what? I've heard nothing but great things about the two new detectives on the case. I'm actually relieved to hear that because, my God, Detective Juanita, I am so glad to hear that you have been promoted and not a direct detective as you were in capacity for. I am thankful for that because of the shit she has pulled and the shit that she has pulled along with that department and others who involved themselves in the case, lying to family members, showing up and breaking their family day, embarrassing them, shaming them, threatening that they're going to get shot to death if they don't come and speak out, if they don't come and tell the truth, whatever they think that is, that they're going to get the firing squad. Hey, Matthew, good to see you. If you have an ounce of decency as a person, as a human, and you think that it's justified because it's a 5-year-old missing boy, then 5-year-old missing child, to tell them and their families' children that they should die or go get killed because of Michael's case, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And I hope that every penny they may or may not come into is worth it, because this is not okay. It's not okay. And enough is enough. Yes, Dang is right. For fuck's sake, says, and there may be charges coming, but they haven't come yet. They have been trying to come. Mike Duke is trying to charge it for how long now? And I don't know what charge it means. I'm still confused on that. I don't even know what that means. It's a complex case. I'm sure it is. I am absolutely sure it is complex for the amount of, let's say, drugs that go on and have infiltrated into the Treasure Valley area where Michael Vaughan was living. The amount of fuckery that goes on in the police departments within Idaho in itself, the biker gangs, the street gangs, the gangs getting competitive in certain areas in Nampa and now Ontario, Fruitland, Caldwell. Of course, that doesn't help things when you have a missing child. especially if they infiltrate the police department, perhaps, or whatever the case may be. I mean, my God, everybody's been threatened to death who really do not know anything, meaning at least the suspect's family members, they don't know anything. And you think it's okay to tell them that they're going to get the firing squad or that their children should die? No, you got me fucked up, y'all. These people are hurting. If they had any knowledge of the four suspects, I'm talking about their family members, the suspects' family members, if you think that they had any knowledge, you know they would go and tell. This is a 5-year-old child, now 8, soon to be. I mean, this is ridiculous. Yeah, it's not okay. So this is why I decided to go live. I've had it. And I really don't care what happens. Because it's too late. It's too late. This case is either going to have to go one way now, and you're going to charge the 4 that you think did it, or it's got to be the right way. Do it the right way. Stop harassing these people and their families. If there was something to say, they'd say it. If they had evidence to charge them, they would charge them. If they have to find Michael, well, that's how it is. That is just how the cookie crumbles. It's unfortunate. My God, yes. But YouTubers do not need to be armchair detectives and go and actually fuck with people's real lives, actual lives. If they had something on them, if the police had a family member who might have known about a whatever, I'm pretty sure they could figure it out because they're smart enough to harass a 78-year-old woman of one of the suspects. All right, rant over. I said it was going to be short. I lied to you. I'm so sorry. But it is what it is. So, what is the updates? Well, to get to the update that I'm going to show you, all right? And this is really piggybacking off of my last live, which I'm going to play a little bit of to save my breath, first of all. But I've already done the work, so why not just, you know, use it? So give me just a second. Let me pull that up. It's specifically going to be about the drug task force that has been doing an excellent job cleaning the streets of the Treasure Valley area. In August 12th of 2021, the drug task force, specifically Payette, created a Facebook. So that was what, 2.5, maybe 3 weeks after Michael went missing. And I didn't realize that they had done that until a year ago, maybe, or maybe 6 months ago. And I thought, okay, drugs are definitely have always been something that I have thought of in relation to Michael Vaughan's disappearance, whether that be, and I have said this, so I don't care, an accidental overdose cover up, a drug deal gone wrong, a wrong place at the wrong time situation. I have gone through every scenario that I can think of. And one thing that always comes back, maybe not exact, but drug related issues. Okay. And I really want people to think about this in as it relates to the laws there, where if you give someone or someone accesses your drugs that you sold to someone and they overdose, you are responsible for their death. Okay? So it's a very serious crime. So think of the implications that has if you are a drug dealer who accidentally, or a child's life somehow, some way is related to your product, even though you had no idea it was going to happen. You are now complicit. And how many people would work together to prevent the whole enterprise that you may be a part of to crumble. And if you were on the cover up side of things, you don't want that beef for your family. So, what are you going to do? Right? You're going to do everything you can to make sure no one involved gets caught. Maybe, perhaps, this is just alleged. Okay. This is just my thoughts here. And I don't think that it takes a lot of brain cells. I think a lot of people in the chat appreciate and know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? It's not something that anyone hasn't thought of, right? But I've been around the block. I'm from a podunk area of East Texas. I know how this shit goes. It's everywhere. Really, this stuff is everywhere. Drugs, gangs, violence, been around for a long time. And it does not, just because of how you perceive a family and how you perceive Michael in his case, doesn't mean that it's not impossible. Your bias cannot cloud your judgment. It could and can be a possibility. We don't know yet. And there should not be hate because of that obvious fact that it could happen. It could be a possibility. So keep the drug part in your mind, just as a reference point. Okay. All right. Live is up. All right. So this was in January 30th was the last time I went live. And for a very good reason. These two. Okay. So before the the drug issue, I know I'm jumping a little bit, but there were two people who were arrested early on. I'm talking 5 or 6 days of Michael going missing. It's the only two kidnapping charges of that year in that county. So obviously, more than likely, it was related to Michael's case, but I can't say with 100% certainty. I cannot get those records. They are um, with the DA's office, which really should scream, yeah, it's probably Michael's case, but I can't confirm it 100%. So I just know that. But I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. No more hiding receipts and all of that because I'm afraid of some retaliation. The retaliation's been here for a lot of people. I'm just a girl who cares about the truth. So these two people were arrested August 2nd, I believe, or maybe July 29th, one of those. Um, Kidnapping charges, trespassing on cultivated land. I'm going to go into it a little bit, but listen to what I say. We're charged with kidnapping in the second degree, again, which is abducting a child or someone under the age of 18, and unlawful entry, criminal trespassing. The unlawful entry, specifically, one of the charges was when they were told to leave, they did. Cool. So it's one of those weird charges where you didn't stay when you were told to leave, so you're good. A lesser charge is, kind of like a misdemeanor, unlawful entry. But unlawful entry in Idaho has a multitude of meanings because you could also criminal trespass or have unlawful entry on cultivated land where you didn't know it was protected necessarily, or it's farmland. Whoops, you stepped on it. You got to charge, Just depends on your intent on that land. So I thought that
Basically
was very
crops.
interesting that they had all of these charges. So like if you step on a farming, area of land that farms, you can get a little misdemeanor. But if you steal those crops, it's a whole nother felony. Like, it's a different thing in Idaho. It's very serious. That's how they make their money. So, is and then they slowly started to be dismissed throughout time, not all at once, throughout time. The kidnapping went away immediately. Well, not immediately. Let me rephrase that. Um, in the next month, in August of 2021, for both. Hello. You know, person one and two. It happened at the exact same time for both. In August, that kidnapping charge, whoop, gone. In September, the unlawful entry, zoop, gone. So they started to dwindle down. And then in January of 2022, they were dismissed by the motion of the prosecutor. And I have a feeling that big if, because I don't know, if it was in relation to Michael's case, I believe that is when things started rolling. Okay. Now, what do I mean by that? When I say rolling, what I mean by that is the family started to get a little more visits from the police. And how do I know that? Everyone should know this by now. But I've listened to all of the recordings. I have listened to all of the back end stories of what went on, what lies were told, etc. Go look at my playlist. You'll figure it out very quickly. So DNA was asked in February of 2022, Michael's DNA, when something came back. Okay. And ironically, something was found that Stacey Wondra mentions in his alleged post-interrogation. He says something about this item that allegedly Michael was holding. Okay. And when I asked him about it, he was like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He didn't even remember that he said it. And then, you go look back at Stacey Wondra's time on YouTube, right? And he said that the boy that was older looking, that was on the Southwest 8th Street, one over from Michael's home, was an older boy, and he was holding a toy. And I've known about this toy business since April of 2022. But it was really shocking when I heard it from Stacey Wondra telling the Chris Madonna, or Juanita, excuse me, Detective Juanita. What about the toy? Well, he's just regurgitating the bullshit that they're giving him. But the mother knew about that toy. He was allegedly holding a toy. How did she know that in February of 2022? So there's got to be a connection to the suspects and what she knows, or what a neighbor has saw. I don't know what this toy is. I have a lot of opinions on it. Maybe a Marvel toy or something, but irrelevant at this point. If they don't find the toy, and it's not evidence right now, it could be, but why is it that's a very interesting connection? And the dog bone looking ass Tanner Butler, by the way, there's connections all up in both sides of that one, and nobody wants to talk about it because Tanner Butler's the victim. No, he never showed up to court when those charges against Sarah were brought again. But there was a family member listening, waiting. But where was the victim who was subpoenaed to be there? Why wasn't he showing up? So there's a lot of connections to those two places, the suspects area and that house at 911 Southwest 9th where Michael Vaughan lived. And I think that the police don't want you to know that, or anybody in the public to know that. I think Brandy Neal might not want you to know that, and potentially the family. That could be, I could be wrong, and that's okay. I don't really care to be wrong anymore. But is it possible? Absolutely. And you want to know why? Because it's provable. It's provable. There are many connections, many, many, many. And for the police to sit there and lie and say that they don't know of these connections, that is a lie. It is a bold-faced lie that could be proven. Um, Now, I know that police want to protect the integrity of their investigation, and they're not going to tell you the truth. And I understand that, and that's why I've been quiet for a very long time. But when people are being harassed and literally threatened with their lives and their kids' lives, like I have, for having an opinion, when does it stop? Charge the fuckers or not? Mike Duke in Payette County, do it or shut the fuck up. And quit making these people's lives a living hell. Because if you can't get a grand jury to charge or indict any of these people, your case is nothing. Start fresh. Maybe you have. I don't know. Into where we're at now with what little we know. But doing some research on these individuals, I want to let you know that in a previous live, I told you and showed you that the Treasure Valley Drug Task Force was created a Facebook page on August 10th or 12th of 2021, where they wanted tips in about drug activity in the area. And I have a deep feeling in my bones that if anything is related to the people that I researched with these dismissed charges, it's bigger than we think this is. It's a lot bigger. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, yes, oh, yes, oh, yes. It is bigger. And little did I know, me saying that then would come to fruition literally within a week. And it just kept snowballing until now. Like I said that, one of the main people I was looking at for a very hot minute, and others, so you know who you are, wink, wink. They started getting arrested, these people we were looking at this whole fucking time that we have tipped in on. Things that we knew long ago. And sometimes, it just takes a little bit of time. 3 years. But it actually came true. Now, I go into detail about like this Ontario family, Hispanic family that went down, man, federally. They all went down. They were a enterprise in themselves, a family enterprise of drug, methamphetamine, and fentanyl sales. These people were also related to BMC gang, street gang. There are recent releases of federal prison from this black magic or brown magic clicker street gang that ironically might be involved in the Eric Ortega and Megan Amaya double homicide in New Plymouth. Very interesting indeed. Which is really, really terrible and sad that happened. No matter what. But I don't know what happened, I don't know what the reasoning is or whatever, but I have a feeling I think we could all think about why that may have happened. A lot of bad shit going down. Maybe a lot of narking when they shouldn't or whatever. So that's just how the gang life goes. So then you also have the biker gangs in Idaho, right? You have the one percenter group. You have all of these different players, okay? And I don't know how far one side would protect the other with so much hate, right? On a missing child's case, they might just do some shady shit, right? So how do these four people relate? Stacey, Sarah, Brandon, and Adrian relate to this potential cover up or maybe even a frame job of either one or all of these suspects or other people. because they're still looking for 2 others, right? Well, I also talk about um, the 6K evidence purchase that was done in January of 2025. I now know what that is, guys. But let's listen
I've
to
got
brief
some
recap.
bombshell information that I think is very important. Bum, bum, bum. And if they did not want it to be disclosed, they should have gone
I heard
into
about that.
executive session. But I don't think it's really a secret, and it's not going to hinder anything, in my opinion. It's not going to hinder the investigation because it's already happened. It's a done deal, what I'm about to show you. All right. So let me get my soundboard up because I'm excited for this one.
I hate myself sometimes. I'm such a nerd.
Wake up. It's important.
It is. Eve is right.
Let's look and see what I found. It's not going to be a huge picture.
Oh yeah, receipts or it didn't happen, right? And by the way, Sarah, I heard about that 18-month-old twin situation. I hear that it's still being investigated. It is a terrible tragedy. It broke my heart. I did cry. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what happened. We don't know what happened, but it can't be good. And just bless those babies. Ugh, it's terrible. Hey, Mr. Eve. Good evening. You're so punny. All right. So, what is this 6K evidence purchase request? Oh, I know exactly what it is. A lot of people do. And if I were an asshole, I would put that out there. Like I would really just blast their name. But I'll tell you what it is. I won't tell you the name, but I'm going to tell you what it is. It is the Lexus that Stacey Wondra was driving that day prior to leaving that 1102 Red Wing house that they excavated the backyard in. Prior to leaving to go tow the to get the tow in Kuna, excuse me. Why would they need the Lexus if it was only driven prior to the alleged abduction time? Let's sit with that for a minute, folks. The alleged abduction time is what? 6:40 to 7 p.m. Malarkey. But anyway, when did Stacey say he came back? 3, 4, right? Maybe 5. They leave to go tow or get Brandon's Mercedes from Cuna at his mama's house. Allegedly, Brandy says 708. I don't know where the hell she got that number from. She had always mentioned that Michael had to have been gone way before then, and that's outside of the abduction time, so I don't get that at all. Stacey Wondra says that they left at 5:30. Brandon's saying closer to 7. So let's just say 6:48, because Stacey Wondra said that too. Okay, but they didn't take the Lexus, guys. They did not take the Lexus to go get that car from Cuna. They took the red truck. So why do they need the Lexus? Think about that. Why do they need the Lexus that was driven earlier in the day by Stacey, who was seen at the Albertsons, I'm sure by camera, and also he had it on his shared albums, Google photos with Sarah. I've proven that. It's on my videos. So he was at Albertsons at 3:45. Ironically, Brandy Neal works there. Was there somebody being dropped off at the A&W across the street from Albertsons? Me thinks so. Where did he come from? Ontario. The apartments. Across the river. Who is he? Who is that guy? Is that the guy with the J name that used to drive around? Perhaps, I don't know. Drive the taxis? I don't know. Could be. Is it somebody that a neighbor of Brandy's and Tyler's? No. Could be. Can't confirm it, but could be. Very high possibility. Very high. So I would love your opinions on why they would need the vehicle that was not around the alleged abduction time. Is the abduction time malarkey? Maybe. But I found something while digging through the most recent and latest city government meetings. And when I looked at number 10 on the agenda item list, it said, Chief Huff, evidential purchase request, action item. Wow. Do you know what kind of a bombshell that really is? First of all, they are working actively as they said they did. They were. What evidential purchase are you speaking on? Who is it involving? What is it about? Where is the money coming from? Where are you having to pull these resources for? What is this? Well, I thought long and hard about, putting it out there. Should I not? Well, I'm going to do it. If you could put a whole ass person out there,
Oof.
and their alleged
Chief.
confession that's part of a case file, I don't think that this is going to do any damage. And plus, it's right. Public information. Eve, you said it best. City government putting it out. Yes, right. So why would they need the Lexus? Well, let's go to Stacey's interview. Interview. Post-interrogation. Very, very, very crucial video that was put out. JD Huff says it wasn't supposed to be out there. It's part of the case file. I've gone over that whole spill about case files not necessarily having a case file could be evidence, non-evidence, false tips, investigative, whatever. It isn't always evidence. And for that video to be leaked tells me maybe it really wasn't a big deal. Because you can only really keep something hidden if it's actually evidence and part of the indictments to come, right? So it's a very interesting. Or it was actually a really big fuck up by Washington County to release that post-interrogation footage. But we're going to watch this. Not all of it, of course, but some of it. Let's turn this baby down. It gets loud.
One will be appointed to represent you before any questioning.
Okay.
You have the right to interrupt the conversation and use these rights at any time.
Okay.
Do you understand these rights, as I've told you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hey.
Taller than me. The fence where that are about how far.
Okay, so Stacey's about to talk to good old Anita.
Okay. What's the other number? Ask him if it's ringing on his end.
Yeah.
If not, FaceTime. Oh, no.
Hello?
Hey, we're trying to make it go through.
All right, bye.
Okay.
It keeps...
Says it can't receive video calls right now.
Are you
direction about where Michael is at.
Huh? You need more direction? Well, I want to know what he said prior to this body cam footage when he was being interrogated, obviously, or let me rephrase, talking to police, whether that be a phone call or in person, which did happen, both of them, and had been for a hot minute. Don't forget that the family members knew who he was in April of 2022, at least. I mean, at least. Could be earlier than that.
Go out the back door, or
Okay.
I can't. Can you turn the camera around so I can show you?
We're gonna flip it around right now. Stand by.
Right here.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm going out the kitchen door.
And that's some equipment.
That is some equipment. Okay, where do I?
All right. That is some equipment. That is some psychopathic shit if you were to make a joke in the middle of this horrid new information. I mean, you'd have to be a real psychopath, or we could read a little bit about behavioral indicators from a suspect during a false tip or false lead, false allegation of a crime. Emotional disconnection. The emotional responses displayed by Stacey do not align with the gravity of the situation of Michael Vaughan. Can we all agree with that? There is a possible disconnect to this rehearsed story that he has prepared, potentially, if he actually does not know. And he just wanted to get out. Hey, Shani, good to see you. So, I don't believe for a minute that this is the workings of a brilliant, overzealous psychopath who is so calculated and convincing that he is, like a Ted Bundy charmer. No. Nope. Not gonna fly here. That's just my opinion.
Where do I need to go?
Okay, face to the right. Like right where the dirt piles are.
Right where the dirt piles are. About how far off of the fence?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Okay, go over there. You point us to where it needs to be.
I just want you to know that skipped a whole ass minute or so, something like that. This clutch my balls version is garbage. This is actually longer than an hour and 8 minutes. I have this, okay, and there were some crucial details left out that I do believe are exculpatory in nature, that I will not put out here, but there is context missing, and you are being misled by that. But I just simply cannot confirm it for you. However, it doesn't matter because there is a name attached to this Lexus that they're looking for. There is a name, and it is not one of the 4 suspects. This is very crucial information because not only is there a name associated with it that will blow this entire charade that other creators are putting on about this case, which is such a detriment to Michael. My God, have some decency for once for this boy. This name will be headline news one of these days soon, especially when it comes to, and has been, a name in the drug community federally in this Treasure Valley area. You hear what I'm saying?
This is not things to be, this is not people to fuck with, first of all. I'm not talking about the suspects. I'm talking about this name attached to the Lexus, okay? I'm just going to be real. These people are scary. Done some hard time. They are getting out at the same times from years and years of being in prison. And I think that this is what's scaring people. I think that there is a potential for this case to shift in an entirely different direction because of that fact that there are people getting out around the same time who may or may not have narked on others. And you're about to see a bloodbath McGrath if this case does not get resolved properly. Because the cat's out of the bag. People know this information. Fruitland PD, Juanita. People know. And if they don't know, they're gonna know.
Okay. Now keep going out a little further.
Keep going out a little further. You're gonna have to climb that mound.
It's like right under that mound area.
It's right under the mound, about where at compared to the trees?
A little like right to the right of the trees area.
To the right of the trees?
Yeah.
Okay.
A little
So,
bit. Where
can
the
you see-
door?
Okay, where at now?
Now he's
The audacity. You don't have equipment to find this baby. You don't have the resources. Where's the FBI? I know the public works was helping out and there was some drama with that, but what do you need? Do you need someone to do this work for you?
off the dirt mound. It's like underneath the dirt mound area.
And about where he's standing?
Yeah, a little bit less, like closer to the house.
Come closer to the house?
Yeah.
And what is he wrapped in?
It should be a garbage bag.
Okay, what color is the garbage bag?
It would either be white or black. We only had 2 colors.
It was either white or black. We only had 2 colors. You know what that sounds like to me? First of all, let me say it could be completely his thought process, and that's really thrown off and disgusting. Or it could be the disconnection between the crime and him actually having 2 sets of trash bags. That's vague to me. If you were involved in a abduction of a child, you will know what fucking color that trash bag is. You will know it. And you will also know, if you don't know those details, you know who does, and you will tell them to go there. You want to know the color of the trash bag? You talk to this person or that person. They were there. He doesn't do that. He just goes, we had white or black. Okay.
I want you to direct him from the fence where that orange thing in his hand is. Where do we need to stop it?
Right about there.
Right about there. Okay. All right. We will try there.
Okay.
Do you have any other suggestions for us, Stacey?
I mean, like.
I have lots of suggestions. I have so many. Juanita. I hope Tyler and Justin do a much better job, and I hope that this justice comes properly, because this isn't it.
Like I said, that's where he was buried.
Okay.
That's the last place I had known. Again, haven't been home for quite a while, and a lot of shit. You know what I mean? So the only.
I haven't been home in quite a while. This is what I've known. Who told you this? Who is feeding you this? Is what I thought of when I heard that. Let's replay that. Who is feeding you this bullshit?
Right about there.
Right about there. Okay. All right. We will try there.
Okay.
Do you have any other suggestions for us, Stacey?
I mean, like I said, that's where he was buried.
Okay.
That's the last place I had known. Again, haven't been home for quite a while, and a lot of.
That's the last place I've known. Who told you that then? Because you didn't see this, you didn't see that, you didn't see all of these details that you think you weren't going to be asked. And what I mean by that is that he didn't think this through because he wanted to get out of that cell that they had him hammed up in, right? He wanted to get out. He wanted to talk to his mama. It's very simple. He calls in to JD Huff and says, I got something to tell you. And boy, oh boy, he gets to get out and roam a little bit. Because he had been in, I don't remember what it's called, but it's like lockup or something. In a very, very small cell since this all began a week prior, maybe 2 weeks in. So they have been talking to Stacey. I want everybody to understand this, that they weren't just, Stacey didn't just call one day and be like, look, I've got something heavy on my mind. No, they were coming to him since May of 2022 because Tyler Vaughan's sister said, he looks sus. He shared a photo of Michael. Ironically, in April of 2022, that's when Tanner Butler shows up at the house and gets Sarah arrested, and then eventually so does Stacey for the gun because Tanner blabbed. So that is so interesting. Very interesting.
You know what I mean? So the only other place I would say, if he's not in that backyard, is go to Cuna to Brandon's house and check in the backyard by the tree area.
Okay, well, we're gonna finish here first, and then we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
So does he need to go right or left? Or where else?
That general area, I mean, that bucket's enough to dig, but you're gonna want to like start digging underneath the dirt piles.
Thank you for.
Hang on, I'm trying to turn my camera around. There it is. Yeah, got my truck. And say hi to the crew. And all three of us are here. This looks like some master. Looks like it's a comfortable bed. Is this one yours?
Yeah.
Where was that duct tape at?
Turn the camera to the left of her car.
3 cadaver dogs have all alerted to the backyard. All right.
Sorry, I had to jump around.
So how long has she been in custody?
I'm not sure.
Is that why she wasn't answering the last couple nights?
No, I think last night was.
Her last night?
Yeah, they held her. But so, question.
Yeah.
Out front or out back here.
Yeah.
Trying to direct these guys. As you can see, there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
They've had 3 cadaver dogs have all alerted to the backyard, but they're trying to narrow down the scent, and so.
Huh? How does that work? What does that mean? We have these dogs that are highly certified that hit, quote unquote, on the backyard, but they're trying to narrow it down. He just got off the phone with Juanita saying it's underneath those dig holes, those dirt piles. I don't think that it's panning out. I think that this is the moment that things are really going south for Fruitland and Chris. And I think they're like, fuck. You know what I mean? Did we get trolled by this motherfucker that we have been habitually going after since April, May of 2022 and onward? And they have not spoken to him since that excavation, by the way, that I'm aware of.
Any help you have.
So to be 1,000% with you, where I directed you is the last place that I knew. That's literally the place that he was buried. Where that dumpster is, or where that bucket is right there is. I mean, that's in the area where I told you. I wasn't out there when she was burying him, correct? Completely.
Okay.
I just had noticed the general vicinity, which is where that bucket, that loader is. That's.
So we came out to this.
The fence.
See that mark on your fence?
Yeah.
We came out to that point, and we went down. How far did you guys go?
Oh, about 3 foot. Pretty good. Yep. We're down about 3.
Where was it at? Right there.
Yeah, you can see it. Starting sticks.
It might be. You can check there. All from the directions that the directions where I gave you. That's where she was starting to dig.
The directions that I was given. Listen to this. Listen to this.
Oh, and I don't want you you know, unless you have to either. But I can only.
Over there in the corner by the fence, huh?
It may be.
On the street?
It could be. All I know is that from the directions that I've given.
Whoop, 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 whoop. The directions that I was given. Who gave you those? Who do you know? Who do you know? And who told you? I don't know.
Directions where I gave you, that's where she was starting to dig. So, and Oakley always dug around that same spot, if you notice, and I think Oakley was onto something. Like, I don't know, Oakley's a pretty smart dog, being a hound, but, you know, she always dug in that vicinity, that area, and she really never went around to, you know, a lot of other places in the yard to dig, if you noticed. Like, she was usually stuck to, like, one area.
Another false allegation or false confession point that I have researched is that there's not enough linkage between what they're saying and what's going on in reality. The dog that he had, Oakley, I'm not sure where that dog is, but he just saw on Zoom or FaceTime with Chris Madonna dogs alerting to this area, allegedly. It makes me wonder if there was some fuckery afoot on that, or a lie. But he's conflicting those two with Oakley, going, hey, you know, Oakley was onto something too. It's not a connection. That's inconsistent. That he's trying to corroborate things and it's not working. It has nothing to do with each other. Canines that are trained and Oakley are not the same. And it does not give any credence to me that he is being honest about what he says he knows.
Which is pretty usual for, you know, a hound dog, you know, I mean, so, I mean, that's the best I got for you. I wish I could tell you, you know.
He was a weenie
dog.
yeah,
it's for sure over to the left. I mean, what I've gotten for sure is from where I told you guys. Trust me, I want him home. I want you guys I want him to be found.
Yeah, because I've already.
In my head worried about that I told you guys something wrong, but just if you guys talk to her, let her know that, you know, everything I've given you, I mean, the dogs are pointing to it and everything else, you know, so I mean, okay. I'm distraught, you know, like I want this, you know, I want this to be done and over with, you know. This family suffered way too long, and, you know. Have you spoke to my mom since yesterday?
No, I've been.
Have you spoke to my mom since yesterday? This was November 12th. Remember. 11:11 was when he calls and says, I have something to tell you. They're at the house, like excavating. So they have been speaking. Obviously, they have been speaking with Stacey for a hot minute. With and without an attorney, I can confirm that with you. This time it was without an attorney. Because Stacey wanted to pull an old fast one that he has done in the past, or tried to get what he wants right then and there. He has pulled some similar shit, not to this level, but he has pulled it in his 2018 charge. So just know that.
Been here the entire time.
Have you? Okay. Well, last night I was just going through a lot of mental stuff, and I told my mom that what I told you guys was a fable, but it wasn't. I was going mentally insane.
And that right there blows this whole thing to smithereens. See, Stacey calls his mama and says, I lied to them to talk to you because I was tired of them coming at me over and over and over with the same questions. Blah, 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 blah. They won't let me talk to her, to his mom. So whatever I said, just don't believe it. And I have spoken to Stacey's mother, who is an adoptive mother, but I have spoken to her. She has confirmed this. And that there is very circumstantial evidence to all of this. So, anywho, moving on. And you guys who are listening in the back, quit fucking harassing her. Quit harassing the family members. Stop it. You aren't shit. You're not investigators. I don't care if one or all of the
Fruitland police detectives are telling you to harass these people. Stop it. It is not okay what you are doing. And I know exactly each and every one of you and who you are. Stop it. So I told my mom it was a fable, but it really isn't. So go ahead and tell her it isn't a fable. But I was going mentally insane. False confession 101. Being held up without being able to speak to anybody. Being bombarded with questions over and over and over and over again. Chris McDonough has a history with that, I believe.
Reversing things in my head, worried about that I told you guys something wrong. But just if you guys talk to her, let her know that, everything I've given you, I mean, the dogs are pointing to it.
Zila Wanda, or whoever you are, nobody gives a fuck if it's 37 people, but eventually the views go up, especially the nosy bitches like yourself. All right? So go ahead and fuck off. Let me get back to my business.
And everything else, so I mean, I've got you guys in the right direction.
Yeah. And Sarah's made comments too, however, hers were that you were the one that did this.
Oh my God. Yeah, I had no. I can't even mow the yard. Do you see me digging a hole that big? I mean, I can barely walk as it is. So I mean, there's no way I have the energy.
Stuff of finding him, that kind of proves that, we can believe you more than we can believe Sarah.
Right. I mean, that's all the crap she's giving you, it's just that he's the one that dug the hole. But she's not giving you any specifics. I can give you the specifics, but
Why couldn't Sarah, the one that's digging the hole, give them specifics if you didn't see anything and you don't even know what trash bag was used? You're full of shit, sir. You're full of it.
there's no way with my height or my weight and my, I can't even mow the yard. There's no, I mean, I don't have the physical abilities. I mean, now I will after I get out of, doing what I'm doing, but, yeah, that's not something I could have done.
Okay, yeah, and as long as we're able to find Michael and that goes hand in hand with what you told us,
Yeah.
then I would be led to believe you more than I would be led to believe Sarah.
Yeah.
Well, what did Sarah say, y'all? You know what Sarah said? God Almighty just told me who did it. That was the probable cause to get her arrested. And you wonder why it was dropped, right? Because of a scorned lover blaming his soon-to-be ex because they told him she was fucking around with Brandon Shirtliff. And it could be true, but that's a little corrupty kind of vibe, if you ask me, pitting it against each other. It's not a very good investigative tactic if you have to do that to get a confession because it usually leads to a false one. So you might want to have more evidence than that. Than the he said, she said.
And so if there's anything that you can help us out with about where to look, what they've done, if there's any specific side of the yard, anything that you may forgot.
Yeah. I'll definitely let you guys know. Like I said, all I've got for you is where I pointed you. You could check the corner of the yard. Like I said, Sarah, could have done something with it when I wasn't home. Not what I did. I didn't do any of that. To an hour-ish. I want to say. I mean, I think Adrian was helping her. If I'm right about that. I mean, Adrian's pretty. Brandon wasn't anywhere around that. But I know Adrian's, pretty decent, skinny dude. So he's.
So why are they going so hard on Brandon right now? If Stacey is saying Brandon wasn't around for any of that, why are they going so hard on him? Huh.
I mean, his abilities, and he's taller, so his abilities are a little more, what's the word, wide open than.
Okay.
So, a couple of questions. Anything else you want to see in the house while we're doing it?
Not, I mean, I wondered if my fishing poles were still in the garage, but.
You want us to go check?
I mean, if you can, is that fishing poles? To the right. I would assume they put, that pisses me off too.
Okay, this is what I was trying to get at.
Put him in the trunk?
I would assume they put him on one of the trunks, yeah.
Well,
In one of the trunks. Sir, you guys allegedly abducted Michael Vaughan in the pickup. There is no trunk. It's the back of the bed. So, where are they getting this trunk business and what time was it? Because it wasn't 7. It wasn't 6:40 to 7 if they're in the truck. So when was Michael Vaughan abducted or allegedly abducted or taken away? And with what vehicle? What time was it? Are you intentionally leaving that out for the public so that they chase their tails over and over and over again because you know it's actually beforehand? I think so.
But did they, or don't assume, don't guess. Remember, we don't want you.
I honestly don't know where he was placed.
Okay,
What is that?
it's a no. Who's Edward Ramsey?
Her dad.
Okay, yeah. And let me see if there's another fishing pole. Scott's not finding it. I'm not finding it.
Put him in the trunk. Well, there's only 2 cars, guys, that could have been a possible, in relation to these 4 suspects, it would have been the Lexus that they bought, okay, with that $6,000 with the name attached to it from Nampa. And well, Nampa, Fruitland, Payette, depending on the day. And the Toyota Corolla that Sarah had. So they were in Nampa that day. Which one was it? Why do they need the Lexus now? Why didn't they get it beforehand? Did they not know where it was? Stacey did sell that Lexus to somebody in Boise. I know who it is. And I believe that there was something wrong with it, or I can't remember the details. I'll have to look into it more, but I believe that person sold it to someone else. I don't know how or who, but here we are in January and they're needing this Lexus. This Lexus took 2 people on a taxi ride that day. One was from Ontario to Payette, and one was from Ontario to Boise. Folks, that is the $1 million, or excuse me, the $64,000 question. Who were the 2 people that took the taxi ride, and what time was it? And are they complicit in removing Michael Vaughan from whatever caused his disappearance to take place? Who was it? I think that that's what police are trying to figure out. I hope so, anyway. I wonder if it's the same people that in the beginning named themselves Bruja Lily. Hey, shut the fuck up. Maybe they're related to this person. I think they might be. And this is a very intentional for one person watching. You guys won't get it. So I think that I'm going to stop here. I think it's a good place to stop, because the second live that I do is not going to be nice. It's going to show the entirety and the gravity of the situation of Michael's case. And it's heartbreaking for the siblings more than anything, because I've seen them being exploited in some sense. And the new details that have been spoken of break my heart, because those things were hidden from people who were really trying to get tips in. And now all of a sudden it's okay to speak on. This is an investigation. Children should not be used as leverage or money. They should not be funding. Their pain should not be funding any tragedy. It's just really, really sad to see. And these other creators that are exploiting it, it's very tough to watch. It's heartbreaking, because you look at it from a 5-year-old little boy's standpoint of, is anybody going to actually fight for me now? That's just how I feel. But anyways, guys, I'm going to get off of here. Much love to you. I hope you enjoyed my stance on things. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. But I'm glad you're here to listen and be open. as I say, hug yourself and your fur babies, your loved ones, your little ones, your grandbabies. Drink your water, and I will see you on the next live. Have a good one. Justice for Michael Vaughan.
Thank you for being with me while doing live streams. It means a lot to me. You are appreciated. See you on next live. Take care and spend your energy wisely. See you on next live. Take care and spend your energy wisely.